Hi folks, it's that time. It's time for another this and that video, kind of a random thoughts update for November 2021. I'm going to tell you about it when I come back. Hey! Roger! Oh, Rocket Chick Roger! Hello there. Well, it took me a while to come up with an idea for this video, but I've kind of got most of these ideas just from kind of going over some of my previous videos that I've done and some of the topics that I've covered, and then also based on some questions that I get from people from time to time. It always gives me ideas for new content, and so that's where I came up with this idea of doing a this and that video, TAT. I just belched and I can't believe it. Oh God. Okay, so anyway, I apologize for that. Anyway, I want to start off by talking some more about noise. I finally came up with some ideas about how to deal with noise. One of the things that I have to say is that it really, I think that your age has an awful lot to do with how you're going to deal with noise. Let's face it, noise is here. It's noisy here. Sometimes it's worse than others. I got a text message from a guy in the States a while back. He said, I'm 45. You think I should retire in Ecuador? I think that's what he said, something like that. Can I retire in Ecuador? And my initial response to him was, no. And so then he pinged me back and he wanted to know why. And I told him, I said, well, because I don't know anything about you. So why do you want to retire? Tell me, some things about yourself. How much money do you have? Are you retired? What do you plan to do? And there goes the helicopter. A search and rescue helicopter just interrupted my video. Let them drown. Yeah. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Strike that from the record. I didn't say let them drown. But anyway, he said, he wanted to know why I said no. So I said, are you going to work here? And he said, yeah, he's going to work from home. He's going to work a full-time job. And I said, you might have a problem with noise. If you're going to work here full-time, you need to rest. And that may be a problem here. You have to be able to rest. I know that I couldn't work here full-time and, work my job that I had back at American with all the interruptions that you can potentially get at night. Here where I live, here by the mall, it's pretty quiet here, but occasionally somebody has a party somewhere and then you hear some music. And if I was working, it would be an issue for me because I didn't like to get awakened in the middle of the night with 100 decibel sound coming from some neighbor that's having a party down the street, because I have to get up and go to work. So I explained all this to him, and so some people can deal with it. Some people can tune out the noise. I've gotten to where I think I can tune out most of it. I can actually put myself back to sleep listening to a drum beat that's coming from a hotel 3 or 4 blocks away. And I've actually done that. So, but if you're young and you're working a full-time job and you need your rest, that may be a problem, So one thing I got to say about noise here is, in my experience, so far it's been pretty short-lived. A couple weeks ago, there was a party down the street. It was 11:30 at night. I was awakened by and I opened up my window and stuck my head out to see if I could tell where it's coming from, and it was coming from right down the street. And I mean, it was loud. But it lasted about 15-20 minutes, and then it stopped. And then it started again. So I got up and was looking out the window, and then here came a cop. and they had their lights on, and they come by and they set off their siren. They go like whoop whoop, like that alarm I just heard, whoop whoop. But they do that, and I think they're just basically announcing themselves that they're in the neighborhood, and then all of a sudden the music stopped. No more. Anyway, it's been short-lived for me. The other night there was a party on the roof of the Zurich building, which is back over here behind me, and it was loud. But I mean, they stopped about 12 o'clock. But that was one of those deals where I was able to put myself to sleep with it going. So that's just definitely something to consider. We're not going to get rid of the noise here. It's going to be here forever, I believe. But there are ways to deal with it. You can manage it, folks. If it gets so bad that you can't, then you have to go find another neighborhood to live in. Maybe go to another town. That's the nice thing about being retired. You're not stuck in one place. You can just pick up and go. It's what I plan to do. Even though I just moved into my new apartment here. This is random thoughts, by the way. I just moved into my new apartment just this last few days, and you can see all the wounds on my hand, the bruises and stuff from banging into doors. And over here I banged into a key sticking out of the door handle on my bedroom door, and I'm carrying my laundry basket in there and ripped my arm open and caused a big old bruise. But the next thing I want to talk about is taking that first step. This is a big topic. This is a good one because I talk to people about this all the time. Taking that first step to come here. Whether you retire and come to Ecuador or Mexico or Peru or wherever, at some point when you've been living in the United States all your life and you're going to give up everything or sell everything or pack it all up and take it with you and go somewhere else, at some point you have to make that first step. And I'm telling you, that first step is a doozy. You can live your dream of retiring abroad vicariously through watching YouTube channels like mine or A Million JP or Bohm's Way or whoever. You can live this dream and think about how wonderful it's going to be. But when you make that first step to start that retirement journey, it's a major wake-up call. For me, that wake-up call was when I wrote that $1,350 check to my migration lawyer that I hadn't even met. Here's a migration lawyer that's 5,000 miles or more away from me. I don't even know what she looks like. And I wrote a check to start the immigration process, and that was my first step. I'd like to know what yours were. If any of you that are watching this that are already here and have made that first step, share it with me and the rest of my viewers in the comments below, and let me know what your first step was and how you felt about it, because it's a wake-up call. I don't care how well you plan, you're going to wake up one of these days after you make that first step and you're going to say, oh, it's real now. And that's what it was with me. It was frightening. I'm looking at my computer screen down here because I have my laptop right here in front of me, and I've made notes this time so I can know what I'm talking about. But anyway, taking that first step, that's a big topic. I mean, I want to know what your first step is and how you felt about it, okay? Another thing that I learned after I came here was, and it's something I learned a long time ago, but you really have to be aware of it here, and that's financial responsibility. When you come to a country like here, where you can't just go over to Aunt Nancy's house and borrow $100 when you're accidentally broke because you didn't manage your money right or do like I do and screw up your budgeting program, and I made a big error. And oh, my picture just fell off the wall. So I heard a noise back there and I thought, what the hell? And but anyway, financial responsibility. When you come to a country like Ecuador or anywhere, and you're living on a budget and you're living on a fixed income like Social Security or a pension or, you know, some annuity or something like that, you definitely need to manage your money. And I recommend that you have a budget. I use a company or program called YNAB, and I don't get promoted by them whatsoever. I should talk to them and ask them, because I love their program. It's called YNAB. That stands for You Need a Budget. It's a great program, and if it wasn't for YNAB, I probably would be a financial disaster. But I have money in the bank because I use a budget program, and you have to learn how to manage your money when you come here. So be prepared for that, okay? That's another random thought, you know, that I'm just throwing at you. Another thing too, I wrote down here, take a step back and learn to live a simple life. That is so true. And I think that's anywhere really in the world, where you go, you have to learn to live a simple life, especially when you're away from mommy and daddy. And when I say mommy and daddy, I'm talking about like in the States, back home. Somebody wrote to me one time, left a comment, a really nice comment. I would read it to you, but it's really very long. But the last thing that this woman told me in this comment was that when you get off the airplane at the airport, leave your past at the gate. Check your past with the gate. I think that's a great idea. And then when you get here, take it one day at a time and keep it simple. Keep it simple and you'll be happy here. If you come here with great expectations, you might be disappointed. Don't come here with great expectations. Come here with the thought of retirement, living frugally, living a happy, healthy lifestyle, and I believe you'll be happy. Another thing that I want to talk about, and I know it's kind of a touchy subject, but I always think about what if something happens to me and I have to go back to the States. And I have to tell you folks, at this point, with the way things are going in the United States, I'd be scared to death to go back there. I got into a discussion last week with a guy here talking about crime. Crime here compared to crime in the United States. And he said that, you know, when you make comparisons, you know, when they make crime comparisons, they base it on units per 100,000 people. Well, there's 330 million people in the United States and there are only 16 million here. And he tried to tell me that there's more crime here than there is in the United States, even though he didn't really have any concrete evidence to back up his claim. I kept arguing that it's safer here. And the reason why I say it's safer here is because you don't hear about mass shootings here. You don't hear about some nutcase walking into the mall up here with a automatic AR-15 or AK-47 and mowing people down just for the hell of it. Crime here is petty crime, and it can be avoided. I feel safe here. I feel afraid to go back to the United States. There's a bunch of crazy people there, and there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and it has been for quite some time. And I'm sorry, I hate that. I hate to say that. I keep thinking back about how it was when I was living as a teenager in Austin, Texas, and I remember how simple life was. I wish I could go back to that. I get homesick sometimes thinking about what it was like before we had internet and before we had cell phones and before everybody had a gun. The only people that had guns when I was growing up were hunters and cops. So anyway, that's just kind of the way I feel about it. It kind of bums me out a little bit because I do realize there's always that possibility that I would have to go back to the United States for whatever reason, whether for health or whether I just get homesick and just can't stand it. I'm not saying I'm going to do that because it's way too early, but I wouldn't want to go back right now, I'm sorry to say. But anyway, That's what I have to say for this random thought video. I could probably come up with some more stuff. You know, I haven't done a video in a while, so I thought I would just throw this and that together and send that to you. I do have to say, I don't know if most of you realize it, this will be video number 52 for me. Out of the 52 videos that I've done since I started doing this, I've done, I think, about 50 of them with no teeth, no upper teeth. And I think when I do my next video, I'm going to have permanently implanted upper teeth, and I'll have a different look and a different smile, I hope. A lot of people say, why don't you smile? You know, well, because I don't have no freaking teeth. So there. But Top Dental is taking care of that for me, and I have an appointment tomorrow for an initial fitting. I'm doing the 4-in-1 implant system. I was going to have snap-in dentures, but I decided to go ahead and pay a little extra money, and I'm going to have a more permanent solution where they'll be screwed in and I don't have to take them out, but once or twice a year for cleaning. The dentist will do that. But anyway, that's a random thought for you. A lot of people didn't realize it, but I can't wait to have my smile back and be able to laugh and show some real teeth. That's it for today. It's a beautiful day here in Manta. I'm in my new apartment. I moved up one floor. I'm on the 9th floor of this building now, which is the top floor. There's only 2 apartments on this top floor in Torrey Marina. My neighbor next door is a Vietnam veteran, very interesting guy. They're here for, him and his roommate are here for 3 months, and very nice people. I have an even better view of the ocean here than what I had just one floor down, but more importantly, I don't have anybody stomping over my head, and I get a really good night's sleep here. So, from Manta, Ecuador, in the Manabi province, thanks for watching. Ciao. Or have rang the bell and crap.